the footballer who is wanted by the Dutch police. It was on October 17, 2017 that Quincy, a young star winger for Spartak Moscow, achieved a big milestone in his career by scoring in the club's historic 5-1 triumph over Seville in the UEFA Champions League. This was the realization of his greatest desire. A more sinister story was being told, however, beyond the surface of the applause and elation that were being expressed. It would only be 3 years before Quincy would experience a precipitous and spectacular fall from greatness. There have been allegations that have surfaced that link him to severe organized crime, alleging that he was involved in the lucrative drug trade in the Netherlands. Additionally, there were accusations that Quincy was involved in a violent episode in which he allegedly attacked a member of his family with a knife. As a result of these revelations, Quincy's reputation was ruined, and he went from being a celebrated footballer to becoming a notorious figure with a questionable history. In spite of the controversies that surrounded him, Quincy continued to play. His life serves as a cautionary tale concerning the ways in which a successful career can collide with the hazardous temptations of the criminal underground in Dutch culture. Who is Quincy Promes? Quincy was born on January 4, 1992, in Amsterdam. His parents had immigrated to the Netherlands before his birth. Therefore, he was of Afro-Surinamese ancestry and a Dutch citizen. Football seemed to be Quincy's passion, and it was clear from a young age that he was destined for success. After moving to Europe, his father, who had played professionally in Suriname, kept up his amateur playing. Quincy had a lifelong passion for football during his early years, playing the game in the streets for hours on end and honing his talents from sunrise to sunset. Quincy's commitment to football remained constant, even in the face of his mother's occasional reprimands for putting the game before his education. His dreams were stoked by his idols, Ronaldinho and Neymar, who encouraged him to hope to become one of the best football players in the world. Quincy's aspirations were supported from an early age by significant skill. He played for RKSVDCG, a small Amsterdam-based football team, and showed great promise at the age of 16. During this period, Quincy was identified by a scout as a player who had the potential to become a generational talent. It was a dream come true for Quincy when he received the chance to join Ajax, the biggest and most prosperous football team in the Netherlands. However, Quincy's path to greatness was severely hampered by his greatest sin, his attitude. Even though this enormous opportunity presented itself at such an early age, his incapacity to regulate his behavior would come back to haunt him, just as it had while he was at Ajax. Finally, Quincy was let go by the club, which he called the saddest day of his life. At a turning point in his football career, Promes considered giving up the game entirely, but his mother's constant encouragement and faith in his potential encouraged him to keep going for his goals. Promes had unquestionable talent and was widely acknowledged as having the capacity to become a world-class player, despite early disappointments. He was lacking in the proper mindset, which is essential for success in the very competitive sport of football. Despite a shaky beginning, Promes gradually started to demonstrate his abilities on the global scene and rose through the ranks of the Football League. He played for a number of Dutch First Division teams over his career, honing his skills and receiving praise for his efforts. But it was his transfer to Spartak Moscow that turned out to be his turning point. His decision to join the club gave him a huge chance to advance his career and establish himself on a bigger stage. Promes' narrative is one of perseverance, tenacity, and the steadfast support of his loved ones, all of which helped him realize his footballing goals. Spartak Moscow, the most successful football team in Russia, took note of Wenger's skill. They gave him a handsome 5-year contract after being pleased by his abilities and potential. Within a year of Wenger's arrival, a prominent figure, Perez, declared his appreciation for Wenger and even called himself a Muscovite, a testament to the fact that Wenger's success in Moscow extended beyond the football field. Wenger became a respected professional football player who gained reputation both domestically and abroad as a result of his hard work and dedication. He demonstrated his skills on the international scene while enthusiastically representing the Dutch national team. He was able to play at the top levels of European football during his tenure with Spartak Moscow. which further cemented his place among the game's best players throughout his career, says René Wenger still a lasting impression on the football world by embodying the pinnacle of achievement at both the club and international levels. Even though his ambitions seem to have come true, Wenger's success was shrouded in a cloud that obscured his darker sides. His world was seriously threatened by the vices that were concealed under the facade of success and recognition. Wenger struggled to follow the rules, exhibiting a temper and arrogance that would ultimately lead to his downfall. Despite being adored by football fans around the world, his incapacity to restrain his urges led him to become involved with organized crime as his career developed, a dangerous route that would further ensnare him and put what he had worked so hard to accomplish in jeopardy. In addition to serving as a warning about the dangers of giving in to one's faults in spite of apparent victories, the contrast between his external achievement and internal conflict highlighted the complexity of human nature. Large, extremely organized, and extremely violent syndicates control the Dutch drug trade, in contrast to stereotypes of small-time criminals. In order to protect him from any prosecution, his football team, Spartak Moscow, has steadfastly backed him and even looked into the possibilities of naturalizing him as a Russian citizen. Negotiations for extradition have become more difficult because of the continuing crisis between Russia and Ukraine, which has temporarily shielded Promes from the repercussions of his conduct. His leadership role, demonstrated by the communications guiding his associates and monitoring the development of the smuggling operations, further demonstrates Quincy's profound engagement in the illicit organization. Photographs of the container doors and contents, for example, provide visual proof of his active involvement and refute any idea that he was a passive observer. Investigations also show that Quincy's involvement in the drug trade dates back to 2018, with hints pointing to his involvement in the cocaine smuggling industry. Quincy is further implicated in the illegal trade by allegations that it made large financial investments in transport activities run by infamous smuggler Piet Wortel. Quincy has eluded police by staying in Russia and avoiding extradition to Europe in spite of growing evidence and court cases. He has taken precautions against the potential legal repercussions, such as applying for a Russian passport to ensure his stay in the nation. The truth is still unknown amid continuous rumors, despite Quincy's attorney's insistence that his client is innocent and that he will appear in court. While navigating the complications of his legal situation and working to protect his future in the face of growing legal obstacles, Quincy continues to concentrate on his football and rap careers. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.